Hello everybody, TheMetaChaser13x here, and welcome to another Pokemon analysis video. This one featuring the ghost Pokemon known as Gengar, in which a lot of you guys should know from the first generation. And ever since the first generation, it has always maintained its place in the overused tier on Smogon, and with good reasons too. And you'll see why in a few minutes. So, with this, I'm going to be going over its typing ability stats, and I have a couple of move sets that can be made pretty effective, including one that I actually just came up with right now. So let's get started. Okay, so as you see here, folks, it has the Ghost Poison typing, which is pretty good typing actually, meaning that you quad resist both poison and bug, while you are completely immune to normal and fighting type moves, and you're also resistant to grass type moves. So with two immunities and two 4 times resistances, that allows you to come in on quite a few opportunities. So I think that's pretty awesome. However, you should be warned that it is weak to Psychic, Ghost, and Dark, and it would normally be weak to Ground, but because of the ability Levitate, which by the way nullifies any ground type attacks from ever hitting you, barring your opponent having the ability Mold Breaker, or if it uses Smackdown or Gravity to basically ruin your Levitate ability. So you could, in a way, count that as a third uh, immunity, so that's really amazing. As for the stats, it has 60 HP with 60 defense and 75 special defense, which isn't really that good, so I would almost recommend that you give Gengar a Focus Sash if you don't plan on investing any EVs into its HP or defenses. But other than that, it really doesn't make it a bad Pokemon. Um, as you see from its base 130 special attack, which is ridiculous. And its 110 speed isn't something to laugh about either, because it can outspeed a ton of threats. And it would have speed ties with the likes of Latios and Latias. And its physical attack is at a 65. It's usable, but with these sets that I'm going to be showing you, we're not going to be highlighting on its physical attack. I might do that in a later video if I can come up with a good set, but right now I'm going to show you an anti-lead set, in other words, a set that breaks lead Pokemon and can essentially ruin your opponent's strategy. Like, say if you're up against an Aerodactyl, you know what? I'm just gonna go on with that when I'm describing the set itself. So let's go. Okay, so the first set that we have here is an all-out specially attacking set. Um, the nature can be one of two things. It can either be modest, which lowers attack but ups your special attack, or it can be timid, which ups your speed and lowers your attack. Um, if you want to go for the safer option and you're sure to pretty much outpace your opponents, at least those that have um, base 110 speed and under, then I would go with timid. But if you want a little more power, then modest would be the way to go. Um, its ability is going to be levitate because that's the only ability it has. As for the EVs, it's going to be 6 into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. Um, and the item for choice is going to be Focus Sash, and what that does is it prevents you from getting one-hit KO'd, so that's always great. Um, the moves, it's going to be Shadow Ball, which is a very nice ghost type move, and it's also stab since Gengar's part ghost, and it has a 20% chance to lower your special defense for the opponent. Um, Sludge Bomb, again, really good stab attack since Gengar is type poison as well. It's base 90 power, and it has a 30% chance to, sorry about that, to inflict poison on your opponent. Um, as for the next slot, it's really up to you. I mean, like, you can use Thunderbolt to take care of the likes of Gyarados and other bulky water types. Um, or you could use Energy Ball to take care of the likes of Swampert, Quagsire, Gastrodon, or any other Pokemon that has a weakness to uh, grass type attacks. Um, and the other choice is Psychic because it will be able to hit poison and fighting types for super effective damage. And as I had mentioned before in my last video, and probably won't be the last time I'll mention this, but there are a lot of dangerous fighting type Pokemon out there, especially introduced in 5th gen. So it's best to be equipped to take on the likes of those fighting types, such as Mineshaw and Conch Elder. Those guys hit hard, and let me tell you, once they set up, they are not easy to take down. So, anyways, that's basically it for this set. Oh, I also forgot to mention that there is Icy Wind as the 4th move, and what that does is it hits your opponent for special damage and lowers your opponent's speed by 1 stage. So if you're up against an Aerodactyl or an opponent that's faster than you, and they're known to set up entry hazards or use taunt, then hit them with Icy Wind. Um, Take anything that they have coming at you, such as a taunt or entry hazard setups, or even an attack, and then the next turn you will be faster than it most likely. Then nail it with one of your stab attacks or any attack that it happens to be weak against if you have in your arsenal, and it will be game over, and your opponent ain't gonna like that too much. So that's pretty much all I have to say for this set. Let's move on to the next one. So this next set that I have here, it's kind of like a gimmicky set, um, and also a set that I've never seen used in battle before, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this. Um, I never tried it out myself, but I think it looks really cool, and I will be trying it very soon. Um, so the nature is going to be timid. That way you can be as fast as possible and even outpace those that are base 110 speed and don't happen to run a speed boosting nature kind of deal. Um, its ability once again is levitate, since as I said before, it's the only ability that it has. The item is going to be Black Sludge for 2 reasons. One, so that because it's a poison type, it will recover just like as if it was leftovers. And the second one is so that if you're against an opponent that has the move Trick, and it happens to trick you a choiced item or anything like that, you essentially give it Black Sludge, and therefore kind of ruins their Pokemon in a way, unless of course they use Trick again and trick the Black Sludge onto one of your Pokemon. So just sort of be wary of that. Um, the EVs, it's going to be 6 into HP, 252 into special attack, and 252 into speed. Um, the way I see it with this set, you really don't need that much HP for this to work. Um, I've seen it used pretty. I've seen a Gengar that was like a sub pain splitter set used by MTG Xerxes in one of his battles, and let me tell you, it worked pretty good. And also, I just want to say a big shout out to him. He is one of the best battlers I've ever seen in action. So, MTG Xerxes, keep up with making the videos. You are doing a great job. Um, as for the moves, the first one is going to be Hex, which is a base 50 ghost type move. What's so good about this one, though, is that if you're up against an opponent that has a status affliction, such as paralysis, poison, or burn, or it could be sleep or even frozen, um, it basically doubles the damage. So I think that's really cool. And speaking of status afflictions, the next move that we have, it can be either toxic or hypnosis. Toxic to rack up damage as well as blasting them with a super powerful hex, or hypnosis so that you could essentially sub and then get some recovery with Black Sludge and be safe behind a sub and still attack and still do a lot of damage. The next move we have is Substitute, obviously, and it takes away a quarter of your health, but you are safe from any status inducing moves, and basically if you get hit with a move that would originally take away more than a quarter of your health, then the substitute will break. Um, and the last move, well, it's really up to you. I mean, I have Protect, and then there's Pain Split. Pain Split basically works kind of like a recovery. Like, say if you're low on HP and your opponent has a lot of HP, like a full bar, let's just say, you use Pain Split, and especially if they have a lot of HP to begin with, you're going to be recovering back a lot of HP, if not all of your HP. So I think that's really nice. Um, Also, I just want to say that with Gengar's base 130 special attack, like even if you don't make any investments, it's already still like really powerful. So if you wanted to, you could invest 252 EVs into HP, 252 into speed, and 6 into special attack. Um, but I personally like this one better because, if you pain split, you recover back a lot less HP needed to get back to your maximum HP, if that makes any sense. That's basically it for this video here. I just want to say for all those that have been keeping up with me so far, I thank you. And I'm hoping that I have impressed you guys so far with my videos. I know I'm not the one, best video maker out there so far, but I am improving each video, and I think that all of them so far have turned out really nicely. So again, if you have any requests for what Pokemon you want me to analyze or just whatever, any team building videos, I can help you out with that. That's pretty much all. Don't forget to leave a comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you later. Take care.